Okay, we are just going to get started here. Thank you so much for coming today and attending my Attracting Your Tribe on Social Media webinar. I'm just going to start off by quickly introducing myself. My name is Kelly. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm a professional network marketer, freelance digital media strategist. I have spent the past 3 years doing everything from managing social media campaigns to creative direction for clothing company and just sort of everything in between. My background has always been in sales and marketing. I worked for hotels in New York before I got married, and then transitioned into being self-employed and then owning a business after meeting my husband, who is a officer in the military. So it was a lot easier for me to create a job that I could take with me. I was able to build up a full-time income online in less than 6 months, all because I was able to correctly brand myself. And that is what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, being able to brand yourself and then being able to translate that into your social media. So it's going to take about a half hour to 45 minutes. For the next half hour, I'm going to give you everything I have. So just sit back, relax, take notes. And then at the end, I'm going to be making an offer for you guys that is, I think, a really great offer and something that will really help you guys skyrocket your business, whether you're a solopreneur, a blogger, a network marketer. All of this stuff is super, super important because at the end of the day, you're not branding your product, you're not branding your offering. What you're branding is yourself. And as soon as you can realize that, the better. So today you are going to be learning how to build your brand and make money on social media without spamming your friends, because we all know that it's really frustrating when we constantly feel like we're getting spammed by people all the time on social media, pushing their products and turning us into dollar signs. So today I'm going to teach you about 3 keys to social media success, and we're just going to go through all 3 of them. The first one is creating an engaging and consistent social media presence that revolves around your audience. The second is going to be how to construct the storyline of your brand. And the third is going to be how to craft inspiring and valuable content that nurtures your audience and gives them a chance to get to know you. So I'm going to start off I'm going to dispel 3 myths. And that is really where we're going to base our talking points on today. So the first myth that I want to dispel is that marketing on social media is about finding people who are interested in what you have to offer. The focus should always be on the product. And that is 110% wrong. I'm sure that anybody that is on social media, on Facebook, whatever, doesn't want to constantly be spammed with before and after pictures and all this other stuff. To successfully market on social media, you need to first be interested in your audience. Your first focus should always be your target customer. Before you do anything else with your brand, you need to be able to answer this question. Who is your ideal audience? And what is it that your personal brand and social media presence is doing to attract them? This is something that I teach in my 7-day branding course, and this is something that I talk to every single person that is either in my downline from my organization or any client that comes to me. I ask them who their target audience is, and normally they have somewhat of an idea, but they're not specific enough, and they're certainly not tailoring their content to that target audience. I've said it before and I'll say it a million times more. Social media is like dating. The more you know about your target audience, the more equipped you'll be to provide them the value that they need to persuade them into either hopping on a phone call with you, becoming one of your business partners, buying a product, becoming a client, following you on social media. Whatever it is, you need to know about your target audience to be able to persuade them, because the biggest reason why people say no to you is because you haven't provided them that value. So to be able to do that, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to name 10 personality traits you believe your target group has. And then I want you to think about where you can find this target audience. And I'm not just talking about, oh, my audience is on Facebook, or, oh, my audience is on Pinterest, or, whatever. I'm talking about where do they shop? What types of food do they eat? Where do they get their news from? what bloggers do they follow? If they are on Facebook, what groups are they in on Facebook? Are they in networking groups? Are they in DIY groups? These are things that you really need to dial in on. And then the next thing is, what type of content do you feel like they respond best to? Do you feel like they respond best to humor, sarcasm, inspiration? Are they drawn to specific images, specific photos? These are all things that you need to know about your target audience. And, even, if you know what stores they shop at, then if BuzzFeed comes out with an article about 10 best things that are, at Target this year, you're able to convey that to them. And then the last thing is, what can you do to make your target audience feel special? To be able to understand how you're going to make your target audience feel special, you need to know what their emotional triggers are. And if you don't know what those are, then it's like, I don't know if any of you have ever read the book, The 5 Love Languages, where it talks about, gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time. I forget. There's one more that I always forget. But anyways, so if you're not able to hone in on what makes your target audience feel special, then all of your content and everything that you're doing on social media is just going to end up falling flat. So the next thing, this is one of my favorite quotes. Social media is like a cocktail party. There's great potential to promote your product within social media, but it must be done the right way. You wouldn't ever enter a room and immediately start talking about yourself and pushing your products. You can't enter the online world and expect everyone to be immediately fascinated with your message. And this is so true. We talk about dating, we talk about cocktail parties. If somebody walked in the room and, basically just announced that, I don't care what they announced, you wouldn't connect with them and you wouldn't feel connected to them. You would just feel like that person was just being there's no other way for me to put it other than icky. So you can't go online and you can't just expect people to automatically be interested in whatever it is that you're putting out if you aren't, putting any effort into being interested in what they're doing. I always say, be interested, not interesting. Okay, so the second myth is that nobody is interested in my product or what I have to say. And that's not true. Nobody wants to be sold to. They want to be provided value. To successfully market on social media, you first need to create your storyline and weave the benefits of your offering into that story. Nobody wants to feel like you have transformed into some alien, billboard of the person that you used to be before you opened your own business, started your blog, whatever. They want to still feel like you're a normal person. They want to hear about, your successes. They want to hear about your struggles. They want to hear about all of these things. And the way that you can do that is by creating your story. They say that products tell and stories sell, and that is 110% true. So when I talk about stories, I talk a lot about how the best brands embrace their stories, the good, bad, and the ugly. By sharing your story, you're essentially nurturing your relationship and giving them a chance to get to know and trust you. And as you've heard several times before, your audience will purchase from you or will say yes to you when they like, know, and trust you, and not before then. You need to share your strength. You need to share your struggles. You need to post with a purpose. You need to, understand the story and the meaning behind your business. Why are you doing what you're doing? You didn't just wake up one day and decide to open a business or start a blog or join a network marketing company. You're doing it for a reason, and they need to understand that. And they need to understand that, and you need to say it with emotion. You don't just blurt it out. Why do people like working with you? Why are these people going to benefit from working with you? Are you going to increase their profits? Are you going to be an awesome upline and just be like, the best person for, their business? You have to think about all of these things, and you have to be able to translate that into a story. And we talked about this before, why are you in this business? What keeps your heart motivated? What drives you? And what are your business's core values? Do you want to give back money to a religious organization? Do you want to be able to stay at home with your kids? Do you want to be able to retire your husband? These are all things that you need to understand and need to know. Building a personal brand, especially one that truly resonates with people, is all about the story you tell, who you are in the world, who you want to be. The message needs to be clear and consistent, and most of all, it needs to be authentic. It needs to be your own unique brand of whatever it is that you're about. Maybe you're ridiculously stylish, maybe you're fantastically funny. Whatever it is, you need to own that story. You need to talk about it with passion and love. The enthusiasm that you bring and that uniqueness is going to be what differentiates yourself from other people, and it's going to be what other people notice. And that story is going to be what you build your brand on. So your online presence should match who you are in person. It's always about providing a consistent experience and relating to your audience in a ways that makes them feel like they know you. People like people that they can relate to. People trust people that are consistently delivering the same brand message. People buy things from people that they like and trust. Your personality should reflect in your branding. So like I said, if you're funny, be funny. If you're sarcastic, be sarcastic. The goal of a cohesive and strong brand is to have everyone that visits your social networks feel the connection to you and your brand. You want them to have instant brand recognition so that they immediately think of you. So some things to think about when building a cohesive brand is that, you should be using similar fonts, you should be using similar imagery, color scheme. As you will notice throughout this presentation and throughout my websites and throughout my social media feeds, if I'm posting pictures of myself, especially on Instagram, or if I'm posting pictures in general, usually I'm using dusty pinks, I'm using blues, I'm using a very similar color palette. Everything just sort of flows together. I talk about the same things all the time. I talk about wine, I talk about my kids, I talk about coffee. I'm pretty sarcastic, so I'm usually being sarcastic in there. I give business tips, I give you shows and stuff that I think that you can watch. And those are all things that I do. And you know what? People send me pictures of coffee all the time. They send me wine products all the time. They send me, articles on something that I posted about my kid all the time, because I have that brand recognition. And when people see something, they think of me. Everything you post should reflect who you are and the ethos of your personal brand. You can play to your strengths and take time to curate your online presence. The worst thing that you can do for your online presence is to just wing it. And, I'm not saying don't be authentic. You need to be authentic, but you also need to have some sort of strategy, especially if you're a business person. Every person that comes into your network is essentially a lead. If they're displaying interest in your business, think of them like shoppers browsing your store to see if they like anything. If a person sees something that they like, or a lot of items that they like, they're going to like you, follow you, whatever on social media. And that person is going to keep on coming back, and they are essentially creating a relationship with you. And it's up to you to nurture that relationship with your content, with your content and with who you are. So speaking of content, we're going to go into our last myth here, that creating captivating content is difficult. And that's wrong. When you have a clear vision of your ideal client and brand, it is easy to shape content that provides value to your audience and prepares them to say yes to whatever it is you're going to offer them. So your social media should do a few things. It should always provide value to your audience. As a general rule of thumb, if you are posting on your business page, or if you shouldn't be using your personal page as a business page. But if you're posting on your business page, number one, you should not be branding your product. You should be branding you. And 80% of your post should be providing value, and 20% of your post should be talking about what you have to offer. So some ways to provide value to your client, to your audience, is inspirational quotes, personal and behind the scenes posts. So posts of you with your family, your friends. If you're a health and wellness enthusiast, then posting pictures of you working out, success stories. And when I say success stories, let me just clarify that really quickly. I don't mean a constant stream of before and after pictures of people that you've never met before. I mean success stories of people that you know. I mean success stories of not just what your products have done for you, but what the company has done for you, you know, with what you've been able to achieve, with what, if you're a solopreneur and say you are a sales funnel specialist, you need to be able to provide success stories of, I did this for my client and this is what happened. You know, those are the types of things that people want to hear, and the types of things that make people say, maybe I can do this. Maybe I should work with this person. Maybe I should follow this person. You want to provide humor. Um, I I'm pretty sarcastic, like I said. So humor is something that comes really easy to me if I don't have anything else that I want to post. Recommendations for your favorite product. If you have a product that you absolutely love, then recommend it. Ask for recommendations. Ask engaging questions. You don't want to always just be talking at your followers. You want to be engaging with your followers. Post original content. Differentiate yourself by posting things that other people aren't posting alongside from you. You can draw inspiration from the best in the business, but don't copy them verbatim, because number one, Facebook's algorithm is going to catch it. If you guys are in network marketing and you are copying and pasting what your upline or what somebody else in your business is posting, then I really highly encourage you to stop, because A, Facebook algorithm is going to catch it, and B, they're speaking from their personal brand and not yours, and you're going to end up sounding like an alien. You're not going to sound like yourself. It's not going to be authentic. It's not going to be consistent. You need to be clear about the image you want to project, and you need to shape all of your content to basically go around that. So what your social media content should not be, and we just kind of went over a few things of this. It shouldn't be a constant inspiration about your business or product. How are you going to get people on the phone if they feel like they know everything about you or they know everything about your product? You can't book somebody on a discovery call if they feel like there's nothing to discover. It shouldn't be your journal for everything bad that happens in your business or life. Negativity attracts negative people. It is okay to post about a bad day, because like I said, we want to post about your struggles. You want to post about the things that are going wrong in your life, because you want to be a human. But you have to balance that, and it can't be your journal for every awful, terrible thing that has ever happened in your life. You don't want to be unoriginal or inauthentic. Just because a specific thing, like I said, worked for a specific person, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, especially if you have extremely different personalities. If you are a girly girl, very not sarcastic, very sweet, like, you can't copy and paste my posts because they're just going to sound, really stupid. So, I mean, basically your brand is your promise to your customer. It's derived from who you are, who you want to be, and what you want people to perceive you to be. Your brand should not be in people's faces. It should be a subtle reiteration of who you are and what value you can offer. So by shaping your content around that, that is how you're going to be able to do that. So we're going to quickly just go over a content game plan, and then I'm gonna, just quickly go through a few things that a few people had some specific topics that they wanted me to touch on. A lot of them I've already touched on, but I have a few other ones that I do want to touch on very quickly. So content, like I said, is not hard to create. Spend 1 or 2 hours in the beginning of the week planning out your content. If you can create a brand style guide, choose fonts, colors, and images that fit your personal brand. You can use Canva to create really awesome graphics. You can use Pixabay and Unsplash.com to create and curate content. All the photos on there are royalty free. You can go on there, search whatever. On Unsplash, I love it because you can actually create collections. So if you have a specific topic or color scheme or something that you want, you can actually save photos and go back and save them later. Have authentic engagements with people. Be a real person. Number one, I have to say, going back to planning out content, you do not need to come up with 110% original content. If you found a really great article on something, then use it. Go on Pinterest, search for things that interest you, search for things that you think will interest your followers, and use that stuff. It doesn't need to be that you're spending 25 hours a week coming up with content. And you need to be willing to experiment and continue to research what works and what doesn't work. So I'm just going to quickly talk about a few things, a few housekeeping things, especially about Facebook. So Facebook, there's a lot of different ways to put yourself out there on Facebook. You can put yourself out there in a group or as on your personal page. You can put yourself out there as a group on Facebook. You can put yourself out there as a business page, and all of those have their advantages and all of those have their purposes. Everybody that's on Facebook has a personal page. It is against Facebook's guidelines for you to advertise your business on and use Facebook's personal page as a business page. But that doesn't mean that you can't provide value to your target audience, especially if a lot of your target audience are your friends on Facebook or people that you're connecting with on Facebook that way. You can still post great articles. You can talk about your success stories. Those are really great places to, say like, hey, I'm in a really great place in my life and this is why, or, I had a really bad day today, but like, here's the positive swing of it. You should have a business page. Absolutely. For more than one reason. You should have a business page because you have a business and it makes you a lot more legitimate if you have a business page. You can also run ads on your business page that are going to allow you to reach out to people that you wouldn't normally reach out to. And you can just brand yourself there. I mean, people might not discover you, especially if you have a very closed off Facebook page. People aren't going to be able to reach you there, but they might be able to reach you on your business page. And then there's groups. And I have a love-hate relationship with groups. I will tell you what groups should not be. Groups should not be a place that you put all the people that you think might be interested in your product to spam them and have them get a notification every time you post in there. If you're making a Facebook group, it should be a Facebook group that is going to provide value. It should be a Facebook group that's going to teach people. It should be a Facebook group that is going to be beneficial for everybody that's in the group, not just for you. Which is why I think that a lot of people misuse Facebook groups. I know, like, my biggest thing is I think to myself, would I want to get added into this group if I had a choice? And that is the type of group that I want to create. I like creating groups that provide value, that uplift people, that provide people the opportunity to network. So that is really what you should be doing with a Facebook group. It should not be a place to post all of your specials and all of your deals and all your before and after pictures. That's just not what it was made for, and that's not what it should be made for. It should be made for creating a community. So with that, I am going to, and like I said, quality is the best business plan. I am going to quickly get into an offer that I think that you guys could really benefit from. It's something that I have come up with. Like I said, I've been doing branding for a while. I've created my own personal brand. I've helped other companies. And so I came up with a 7-day branding reboot. And this is actually an awesome course for people that either have a brand or have a product or a company or even a blogger that they are just not hitting what they want to hit as far as goals, and they're just not really sure what they want. It's also great for people that are just starting out, people that have never done network marketing before or anything like that. It's a really awesome course for you to just take a comprehensive look at your brand. I'm going to go over in just a little while what is actually included and what each day is. So it does come with a 7-day branding reboot e-workbook, which is 41 pages long. It comes with corresponding videos for each day, and it also has access to my 7-day branding reboot mastermind Facebook group, which is not a 7-day group. It's a group that always goes on. You don't have to take 7 days to do this. You can take as long as you want. It's self-paced. And then you have lifetime access to any of the course updates. It is normally sold for $197, but I am doing a 48-hour special for anybody that has participated in this webinar, and you can use the code webinar for 48 hours, and the link is below, and I'm also just going to go ahead and post that in the comments of this. So let me just do that really quickly. But yeah, so it's 157 for the next 48 hours. And then I'm just going to quickly go over what the table of contents is. So the first day we're going to talk about defining your audience, which I think is the 100% like most important thing that you can do for yourself and for your brand. The second day we're going to be talking about envisioning your brand. So once you figure out who your audience is, then you start shaping your brand around what you want that audience to be. The third day, we're going to be creating your story. So now that you know what your brand is, now that you know who your audience is, you're going to start creating a story that is going to weave through your brand and attract and elicit the emotions that you need to out of your target audience to be able to move them from, or cold market to warm market to hot leads, and then customers, clients, whatever. The next day, we're going to talk about personifying your brand. This is really hard for people that are maybe either introverts, ambiverts, and, are just not maybe that skilled in having a business persona. And this is basically, I'm sure you guys have all heard of Beyonce before, and this is basically your Sasha Fierce switch. And it's just um, slight adjustments to your brand and to your it's just slight adjustments to your brand and to who you put out when you're talking with people on the phone, when you're talking with prospective people, when you're posting. It's just the tone of voice that you use. The next day we're going to be talking about implementing a Facebook strategy, and this is going to be a really comprehensive Facebook strategy that is going to take you through everything. And then the last day we are going to be talking about curating your Instagram feed. Instagram is my favorite and I absolutely love it. So I had we've already started this course. I have about 20 people enrolled right now. And I had two of my friends who are taking the course kind of ask me or talk to me about what they loved about it. And this is what they had to say: Kelly's branding reboot opened my eyes to blind spots in my content and marketing. Now I understand the connection I share with my ideal client and exactly what to say to reach her. And then Andrea said, Kelly's course has taken my brand from mediocre to jumping off the screen. This step-by-step guide is easy to digest and implement. You can transform your business in 7 days. So like I said, for the next 48 hours, this course is going to be 157. It's never going to be 157 after that. Last week I offered it at 147. The price is just going to keep going up, guys. I really, really strongly encourage you, if you are having trouble with your brand, if you are having trouble or struggling with, defining your target audience, creating the content that you need to engage that audience, or if any of this is something that you're struggling with, I highly encourage you to hop on over and sign up for the branding reboot. It's going on all the time. You can download your workbook right away and get started. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, K.Fox. You can find me on my Facebook business page, which is K.Fox Creative, or you can find me on Instagram. It's the K.Fox. So I hope that you guys are having a awesome Wednesday, and I will talk to you guys soon. And once this is over, I'm going to go ahead and send out this webinar. I'm probably going to send it out after our second one today. Okay, have a great rest of your day, everybody, and I really appreciate you hopping on today. Thank you.